Well, you know, I'm always fiddling with harmonicas, and I wanted to show you the new semi-custom harp that I've put together. There's a lot of things that have happened to this. This is actually a Seydel De Luxe steel solo tuned instrument, which means that it starts at C4 instead of G3 on the orchestra tuned that I play the Seydel Saxony. And I have this harp, and while these two mouthpieces are not identical, fortunately my frictionless mouthpiece does fit, because they'll work on a lot of trapezoidals. I don't know which, but it will work on this one. Now this is actually an upgrade, this mouthpiece. It comes with a rounded one, but this is the trapezoidal, and I happen to have that. So I put one of those ergo buttons on here because I always like to have that. It brings the button out just a hair and gives me a more comfortable thing. I also ear tightened the harp just a little bit. This was one of the more tricky customizations. This particular harp is constructed with the mouthpiece, okay, on the top, and then the next thing is a flat, or actually, it's not a flat blank, it's a shouldered blank. Now, what is a shouldered blank? A shouldered blank is a blank which is not flat, but instead has little shoulders on it, okay? And then you have the slide, and then the next thing is a flat blank. So that shouldered blank sits on a flat blank, and the slide runs in the middle. These are not as airtight as a Seydel Saxony from factory, and given the quality of manufacturing of Seydel, I figured the only problem could be that the shouldered blank was being held just a little bit too high off the flat blank. So I used files and stones to bring those shoulders down a little bit and bring those two closer. You have to do them uniformly and all the way along those edges. It's a hard hand job, you know, to do by hand craftsmanship. But anyway, it ends up making a harp, and of course you can see that these covers, I did a cover modification. They're sold with a 90-degree turn, and I smacked those with a hammer, you know, covered this with tape, and tapping actually brought this edge flat here at the back, so it wasn't 90 degree, it's flat, and then I could open it up to get more projection. You don't have to do anything to the combs on this, because Seydel makes flat combs from factory, which is really great. They're one of the few that do. Swan does not, and Hohner does not as a rule, unless you go up to Meister class. Like a metal comb for Hohner. Anyway, so here's how this thing sounds, and I really like it. I think it's a cool instrument, and why did I do it? Well, I happen to have it, and I want that solo tuning that's a little higher in case I ever want it. Now, let's compare it with Seydel Saxony, because they don't have the same tone. So it's a little stronger, a little beefier, but this is a little lighter, I would describe. And you might ask why. That's a good question. Well, here's why. When your harp has more low reeds on it, it changes the tonal harmonic footprint for the whole instrument. Every note that you play will have a little bit different mix of harmonics. Because even though the reed that we hear is just one reed, it is affected a little bit by the micro harmonics of the other reeds. In the same way that when you play a guitar, the other strings, if they're not stopped, are going to make a little noise too. Not much, but some. And when you play a piano, a real piano, the other notes are ringing even when you're playing a note here. The other ones ring just a little bit. So you'll find that the tonal harmonic footprint on this instrument with its higher tuning is going to be a little brighter than this. Now, I have an orchestra tuned one of these, and it is actually warmer in tone than this. So I know that the reason this is brighter is it's higher tuned. A lot of people don't know that fact, but it is a fact. So let's do the comparison one more time. Here's our Seydel. And of course, I'm a Seydel guy, so I mean, in the sense, that's what I play most of the time because I really like them. I think that they're reasonable in price for the quality you get. I think this is the best one they make, the Seydel Saxony, but I do enjoy this, and audiences have given me very positive response on deluxe steels. I probably ought to get another mouthpiece for the deluxe steel that's orchestra tuned. I like that. And you know, I want some different sounds from instruments. I don't want the same sound coming out of everything I play. Granted, this is a customized instrument. This is one that's the little punk. A lot of things were done to it. The covers have been modified with sure grips so that it doesn't sound like a normal Saxony. I have a normal Saxony around here, but I'm using this one as a comparison. So this is a stronger harp, of course, but this is an expensive custom harp. And this is basically a stock harp with minor modifications. Anyway, the point of the video was strictly to show you that there's another sound here, the deluxe steel. I like this instrument. The only downside I'd say is the paint on the back, and the acrylic is softer material, so over time they kind of wear a little bit, where these aluminum combs are very dense, and strong and stable. I also use this as the chassis for custom harps, the Seydel Saxony. But I also like these, and I'm going to enjoy this sound. But I thought you'd enjoy seeing the cover change, the ergo button. This is probably the only deluxe steel you'll ever see with a trapezoidal mouthpiece, but it is not the same trapezoidal mouthpiece as on Saxony. It is smaller by less than 1 millimeter. This is my Bulletini mic, by the way, which I'm very happy with wireless, because it has this little volume thing. It's a great sounding mic. I did a group of sound tests the other day, which you'd enjoy too.